Giving all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High and His Son, thanking Him for another opportunity to get it right, thanking Him for another opportunity to prove ourselves worthy. Today's class topic is the furnace proof of the potter's vessel. So the trial of man is in his reasoning. One habit that Israelite man began to do is take it upon themselves to pick up the word of God. They speak for him.
Bring it out.
Not truly understanding that it is a snare and a death sentence.
That's right.
If any man utters any words before God, you better make sure he's right.
That's right.
He better make sure he's right. We're going to get into it today. Let the Most High speak for himself. One thing we must do, put respect on his omnipotence. We must put respect on his omnipotence. We must. It is a must. Give me Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1, verse 1. We must put respect on his omnipotence. Sirach, chapter 1, verse 1.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1, verse 1.
Read.
All wisdom cometh from the Lord.
Ecclesiasticus. Give me the prologue. Start at the prologue.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, a prologue made by an uncertain author. This Jesus was the son of Sirach.
The second one. Whereas.
The prologue of the wisdom of Jesus, the son of Sirach. Whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that followed their steps, for the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom, and whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn to be able to profit them which are without, both by speaking and writing. My grandfather, Yahushua, when he had made much, given himself to the reading of the law and the prophets and other books of our fathers, and had gotten therein good judgment, was drawn on also himself to write something pertaining to learning and wisdom.
But read on, not.
To the intent that those which are desirous to learn,
read.
And are addicted
and
to
are what?
And are addicted.
And are what?
And are addicted.
The problem is Israel, we suffer from an addiction problem. What is one of the greatest forces that can rival love? Is addiction. Addiction is addiction. Force behind addiction. What addiction does, a person would do anything to obtain it.
Bring it out.
Think about what crack hit our neighborhood. Now, her sister was willing to sell her son, sell her daughter, forfeit everything that she has just to obtain that 5-minute high.
Bring it out.
Israel, we truly suffer from an addiction problem. What is the addiction that plagues us? Read that again.
To the intent that those things which are desirous to learn and are addicted to these things.
Did our what?
And are addicted to these things.
Israel, first and foremost, it starts with our addiction. What are we truly addicted to? What is it that we are addicted to? Is it the law of God? To the well-pleasing of the Almighty? There's another matter. Give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1. Israel, we have an addiction problem. And we are addicted to the wrong thing. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 1. Finally, brethren, pray for us, that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified, even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men.
That we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men. The problem is, Israel, we have forgotten the message that was given to us from the beginning.
Bring it out.
Completely forgotten. Completely forgotten. But read that again.
Finally, brethren, pray for us, that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified, even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered.
That we may be delivered. Read.
From unreasonable and wicked men.
I'm telling you, the main objective for Israel now in this time is to be praying for deliverance.
That's right.
One thing that the nation should be seeking is deliverance.
That's right.
Give me Luke chapter 21, verse 3. Hold that. Luke chapter 21, verse 3. Read this out.
The book of St. Luke chapter 21, verse 3. And he said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in...
So to verse 34.
Verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overchanged with surfeiting.
To tell you, the main objective for Israel in this time right now is taking heed to ourselves, lest our hearts be overchanged.
Bring it out.
Read.
And drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unaware.
Read on.
For as a snare shall it come unto all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth.
Read on.
Watch ye therefore.
What should we all be doing in this time?
Watch ye therefore.
The only thing that we all should be doing as a nation is watching.
That's right.
Read.
And pray always.
And making supplication. Making prayer. Read.
That ye may be accounted worthy.
That we may be accounted worthy. Read.
To escape.
To do what?
To escape.
To do what?
To escape.
To do what?
To escape.
The only thing we truly should be doing right now is watching, therefore praying.
Right.
That we may be accounted worthy to escape. Read.
All these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
Israel, you better make sure that you watch it and making prayer.
Right.
To be worthy to escape. To be worthy to escape. Go back to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 3, verse 2.
2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 2. And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men.
Watch unto prayer. Watch it unto prayer. Read on.
For all men have not faith.
For all men have what?
Have not faith.
Read.
But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil.
Read on.
And we have confidence in the Lord touching you, that ye both do and will do the things which we command you. And the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the patience waiting for Christ. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Yahushua, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly.
So the first step is really understanding that we are truly workmanship upon himself.
That's right. That's right.
Just vessels. Mere mortal vessels. And when you truly understand that, read verse 6 again.
Verse 6. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord, Yahushua, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which he received of us.
Read.
For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us, for we have behaved not ourselves disorderly among you. Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught.
So to verse 10.
Verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
So this is what we get to. The scripture says, if any would not work, neither should he eat. If any would not work, neither should he eat. What things are we truly addicted to? Read.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly.
But some, instead of truly understanding this, we still have some amongst us that walk around disorderly. And what does it in turn to do? Read.
Working not at all.
Read on.
But are busybodies.
But are what?
But are busybodies.
Israel, we live a life of watching other people.
Bring it out.
All we do, day in and day out, is watch other people.
Bring it out.
Every time you turn on the TV, what do you see? People acting. We pick up that phone and what do we go on Facebook to do? Look at other people.
Right.
We turn the radio and hear what? Other people.
Bring it out.
You turn on the TV and see what? Other people.
Bring it out.
Truly, Israel, we are addicted to looking at other people.
That's right.
Worrying about other people.
That's right.
Read that again.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly.
Some of us ain't trying to put in the work as Christ.
Bring it out.
Some of us ain't walking as Christ. Well, so give me Psalms 37:23. Psalms chapter 37, verse 23. Psalms chapter 37 and verse 23. Read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
It says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. So did the Lord tell you to put that poison in your body?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
So did the Lord order you to be lazy?
Bring it out.
Not having your hand to the plow? Is that what the Lord orders you to do?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Sister, did the Lord order you to be a glutton? Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Brother, did the Lord order you to be emotional?
Bring it out.
In your feelings?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Brother, sister, did the Lord order you not to take heed to counsel?
Bring it out.
Did the Lord order you not to even seek out counsel?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Sister, did the Lord order you to be disobedient to your husband? Brother, did the Lord order you to tear down your wife? Lord, did the Lord order you to debate amongst your brethren?
Bring it out.
Did the Lord order you to turn against your brother, man?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
The Lord ordered you to lie. Israel, we must be real with ourselves. We must be real with ourselves. Go back to 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3. Start at verse 10.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
Who really out here walking like Christ?
Bring it out.
And what fulfills the law of Christ?
Bring
You know,
it
we
out.
throw a lot of words around. We speak on his name.
Bring it out.
We speak for his omnipotence, his superiority, his authority. Give me Galatians 6 and 2, but who's really doing this? Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. Read this.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 2. Bear ye one another's burden.
Do what?
Bear ye one another's burden.
Read.
And so fulfill the law of Christ.
That's fulfilling the law of Christ, putting in that work. Stand strong for your brother. Stand strong for your sister. Bearing ye one another's burdens. Who actually put in that work?
Bring it out.
True love, true care, true concern, true respect. Who's putting in that work?
Bring it out.
Read verse 10 again.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3 and verse 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
Any would not work, neither should he eat. Read.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly.
Read.
Working not at all.
Working not at all. Read.
But are busy
But
bodies.
are busybodies. The nation worried about everything else but to love for self and love for the brother, love for the nation. But what was the message from the beginning?
Bring it out.
Give me 1 John 3 and 11. 1 John chapter 3 verse 11. 1 John 3 and 11. Read this.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
That we should what?
That we should love one another.
That we should what?
That we should love one
The message
another.
from the beginning that we should love one another. But instead of doing that, Israel, we want to pick up the Bible. We want to speak for God.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Instead of truly comprehending the message that was from the beginning. Give me Romans chapter 9 verse 20. Romans chapter 9 verse 20. Romans chapter 9 verse 20. Read this out.
The book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Read that again.
Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against God?
Read.
Shall the thing formed say, him that formed me it?
Read that again.
Shall the thing formed say?
Shall the thing formed to say? Read.
To him that formed
To
it.
him that formed it. Read.
Why hast thou made thus?
Read on.
Hath not the potter power over the clay?
Have not the potter power over the clay. In Israel, we fail to comprehend that concept. Have not the potter what?
Power over the clay.
Have not the power over the clay.
Bring it out.
Read on.
Of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor.
Understanding the true workmanship of the workmaster. We're going to get there. Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 13. You have to acknowledge his omnipotence. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 13. Read this.
The wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 13. For what man is he that can know the counsel of God?
For what man is he that can know the counsel of God? What man is he that can speak for God? Read.
Or who can think what the will of the Lord is?
Read.
For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable.
Or what?
Are miserable.
Or what?
Are miserable.
Who can think for God? Who can speak for him? Give me this first video.
Might build if we could produce a synthetic version. The first step is getting a closer look at spider silk. The journey could take us all the way down to what we call the nano world. The silk is 100 times thinner than a human hair. On it, there's bacteria. Near the bacteria, 10 times smaller, a virus. Inside that, 10 times smaller, 3 strands of its DNA. And nearing the limit of our most powerful microscopes, single carbon atoms.
Stop right there. Can anybody anybody explain this? Does anybody have any explanation? But we are so fast to pick up the Bible and speak for God, not understanding that it's the furnace that proves of us.
That's right.
Did anyone explain? Read that again, huh?
For what man is he that can know the counsel of God?
Who can truly know the counsel of God? Name the man, name him. Who can explain? Who can answer for God? Read.
Or who can think what the will of the Lord is? For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable.
Because our thoughts are just miserable, man.
That's right.
Who are we to speak for God?
Bring it out.
Israel, we better stop that. Stop that. And so, please explain the workmanship of God. Give an explanation of why the things, the way that we perceive it. Somebody please explain.
Bring it out.
Go back to 1 John 3 and 11. 1 John 3 and 11. 1 John 3 and 11. Read this.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain.
This is the message that we should learn from the beginning, that we should love one another, Israel. We get too ahead of ourselves.
That's right.
Forgetting the core principle. Forgetting the core thing that keeps us all together.
Bring it out.
It's through love that the nation surely lives on.
That's right.
It's through love that our children live on.
That's right.
It is through love. It is through love that we get too ahead of ourselves and can't even truly comprehend. Go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 9, verse 13.
Go Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 13. For what man is he that can know the counsel of God?
So what man is he that can know the counsel of God? For the counsel of God is incomprehensible, unfathomable. In Israel, we must understand that. Humble yourself. We must humble ourselves. Give me Isaiah 55 and 8. Isaiah 55 and 8. Have to put respect on his omnipotence. Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 55 and verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts.
Read.
Neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways.
Israel, all we got to do is love, man. Because we cannot comprehend and speak for God.
That's right.
But that's the other side of the spectrum. Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 13. Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 13. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 13.
Without I get understanding. To have knowledge is to truly understand how things work around you.
That's right.
Read this.
As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it as his pleasure.
Understanding that each and every one of us has been fashioned to his pleasure. Every single one of us have been fashioned to his pleasure.
That's right.
Read.
So man is in the hand of him that made him.
We all are in his hand. Read on.
To render to him, to render to them as liketh him best.
To render him that have likened him best. But jump up to verse 12.
Verse 12. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted.
Some people were created that he hath blessed and exalted. Read.
And some of them hath he sanctified.
Some people were created in the hope that he's in sanctification of him. Read on.
and set near himself.
And some of us have been set near to God himself.
Bring it out.
But read.
And some of them have he cursed and brought low.
But some of us have been cursed and brought low. Read.
And turned out of their places.
Read on.
As the clay is in the potter's hand, to fashion it as his pleasure. So man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best.
Read.
Good is set against evil.
Understanding Israel, there's only truly four things that's truly set before us. Good and evil, life and death. Truly only four things that's set before us, Israel. Good and evil, and life and death. Read on.
And life against death.
Read that again.
Good is set against evil.
Read.
And life against death.
It's good against evil, and life against death. Read.
So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Read.
So look upon all the works of the Most High.
Israel, apply this all. Apply this knowledge. Look upon all the works of the Most High, and what? Read.
And there are 2 and 2.
Understanding there's only 2 and 2. Read.
One against another. I awake up last of all, and as one that gathereth against the great gatherers, by the blessing of the Lord I profited, and filled my winepress like a gatherer of grapes.
Truly understanding this is time for you to work the powers. Truly understanding that it's only one set against another. It's time for you to work the powers.
That's right.
What side of the spectrum are you going to be on?
Bring it out.
As Christ, as death. Israel, there's no gray area with God. No gray area. Read that again. Verse 15.
Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High.
Look upon all the works of the Most High. Read.
And there are 2 and 2. One against another.
It's one against the other. One against another. Truly understanding that the war truly that's being fought is unseen. Israel, if you pay attention to that video, surely, Israel, the war truly being fought is unseen.
Bring it out.
Read that again.
So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another.
Sister, brother, the condition of the battle is it's only 2 and 2, one against the other. What side of the spectrum would you be on?
Bring it up.
Will you walk as Christ? Or will you dwell in the covenant of death in which we all have made? Give me Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28. Start at verse 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 14. Wherefore, hear the word of the Lord, ye scornful men, that rule this people, which is in Jerusalem. But ye have said, we have made a covenant with death.
We have what?
We have made a covenant with death.
Israel, we all have made a covenant with death.
Bring it out.
Every single one of us at one point in time made a covenant with death.
That's right.
Every single one of us. Why? Simply being a product of our environment.
That's right.
Being a product of our environment. But truly understanding that truly is only one against another.
That's
good
right.
against evil. How much do you walk? Go back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2.
And there are what?
And there are 2 and 2.
Read.
One against another.
Read on.
I awaked up last of all.
So that's when you start to awaken.
Bring it out.
Truly understanding the workmanship around us. That is when you truly awaken. It's life against death, good against evil.
Bring it out.
Nothing to talk about, nothing to debate about.
That's right.
No confusion. It's one against another. Read on.
I awaked up last
And that's
of all,
when you began to awaken. And when you began to awaken, what do? Read.
as one that gathereth after the great gathering. By the blessing of the Lord I profited, and filled my winepress like a gatherer of grapes.
It's time for you to work. But fulfills the law of Christ, bearing you one another burdens. It's time for you to love, man.
That's right.
Truly understanding this one against another, man. It's time for us to love.
That's right.
What's the only thing that can deliver a person's souls and blot out his sins? Can anybody answer me that?
Bring it out.
What blots out a man's sins?
Bring it out.
What blots out a man's sins? If you truly awaken, you'll truly understand this. Proverbs 10 and 12. Proverbs 10 and 12. Are you awake or are you still asleep?
Bring it out.
Can you see, Israel? That is truly one against another. Christ, which is life, which is wisdom, against foolishness, against darkness, against deceit. Read this.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 12. Hatred stirreth up strife.
You're going to be walking around full of hate, full of envy. But outwardly, it can still look good. Again, Israel, the condition of the battle is towards the inward man. Read.
But love covereth all sin.
But what?
But love covereth all sin.
Said love. Go back. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 16. Start at verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. I awake up last of all.
That's when you begin to awake, truly understanding the powers that surround us. Read on.
As one that gathereth after the great gathering. By the blessing of the Lord I profit.
And as the blessing of the Lord, you're going to profit. Truly understanding the work that must be done. Because he said when he waked up at last, I was as one that gathered after the great gatherers. It's time to put in work.
That's right.
It's time to love. It's time to build.
That's right.
Read on.
By the blessing of the Lord I profited, and filled my winepress like a gatherer of grapes.
Who's out there putting in work, trying to fill up the wine press? Read on.
Consider that I labor not for myself.
Consider that you don't labor for yourself, sister. Consider that you don't labor for yourself, brother. Because truly it's bigger than you.
That's right. That's right.
Truly it's bigger than me. Consider that you don't labor for yourself. And by understanding that, sister, you're not going to get the reward right then and there.
That's right.
For the reward is with the Most High and the Son.
That's right.
Consider that, sister. Consider that, brother, that you don't labor for yourself. You don't bear your brothers and your sisters' burdens for yourself.
That's right.
You do it for this. Read.
But for all them that seek learning.
But if you do it for everybody else, they seek to follow Christ.
That's right.
Read.
Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears.
Hearken with your ears, Israel. Hearken with your ears. Hearken with your ears. But truly, you have to understand that we are only clay in the potter's hands. Give me wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 7. Read this out.
The books of wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 7. For the potter, tempering soft earth, fashioneth every vessel with much labor for our service.
He fashioned each and every one of us for service, Israel. For service. We all have been created and sculpted to serve.
That's right.
To serve. Well, what side of the spectrum will you choose to serve on? Read.
Yea, of the same clay, he maketh both the vessels that serve for clean
He
uses.
make the vessels the people. He make the spirits to serve for clean uses. Read.
And likewise also, all such as serve to the contrary.
Then you got the people that's created to do wicked.
Bring it out.
But read on.
But what is the use of either sort?
But what is the use of either sort? Read.
The potter himself is the judge.
The potter himself is the judge. The potter himself is the judge. But Israel, you truly understand that there's only one against another.
Right?
Truly understanding that. Let's get into it. Sirach chapter 27, verse 5. For truly the clay will be proven in the furnace.
Bring it out.
What does that mean? Read this.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27 and verse 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel. It says the furnace that proveth the man. What is the furnace? Israel, the answer lies within nature.
That's right.
With simple concepts, simple principles. Read that again.
So the furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
Each of us will be tried in the furnace. Has anybody made it out the furnace yet?
Bring it out.
Can anybody proclaim that victory?
Bring it out.
Is anybody amongst us promised eternal life? Or last time I checked, you have to endure to the end.
That's right. Bring it out.
Read that again.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
We all have to be tried in the furnace. Can you speak for the furnace itself?
Bring it out.
Can you give counsel to the furnace?
Bring it out.
Read that again.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
We all have to be tried in the furnace, Israel. And it's going to explain why. Why is it that each of us has to be tried? Read on.
So the trial of man is in his reasoning.
So the trial of man is in his reasoning. Israel, we stand on trial before the Most High and His Son, simply on the principles of our reasoning, our understanding. And what does that do? Give me Mark chapter 6, verse 45. Mark chapter 6, verse 45. Mark 6 and 45. Luke 6 and 45, Shalakia. Luke 6 and 45. Read this up.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 6, verse 45.
It says, the trial of man is in his reasoning. We stand on the trial of God simply off our reasoning. Read this.
A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good.
A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. Read.
And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil.
So how does your body, your vessel, give off how it really feels inside? Again, Israel, hear the imagery. How does your body give off its fruits of how it really feels, of what it really is? Read.
For the abundance of the heart, for of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks.
Your mouth speaks of how you truly feel.
That's right.
It is your mouth. It is by your words. Your words will show who you truly are.
That's right.
Well, if you go back to nature and see yourself as simply as a cell, what is the sole purpose of a cell? To multiply and give and transmit information. And how do we transfer information? Through the words that we speak.
That's right.
Therefore, the words that you speak show who you really are.
That's right.
Go back to Sirach 27, verse 5. Let's get clarity. Let's clarify on that. Ecclesiasticus 27, verse 5.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 27, verse 5.
Read.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel. So the trial of man is in his reasoning.
For the trial of man is in his reasoning. It is in your reasoning. It is in your reasoning. Read that from the top again.
The furnace.
The furnace. Stop right there. The furnace. A man's trial and his reasoning is compared to the furnace.
Bring it out.
Go Sirach 2 and 5. Let's get the furnace. What is this furnace that we all have to go through?
Bring it out.
What is this furnace that we all have to go through? Read this.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire.
For gold is tried through the fire, Israel. But it describes that fire. What is this fire that we all be tried to read?
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
But acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. The fire that we all have to be tried in, Israel, is adversity. The fire that we all will be tried in and through is adversity.
That's right.
What is there to debate about when we all have to be tried through this furnace? How can we bicker and devour one another when none of us can escape this furnace?
Bring it out.
That each and every one of us must make it out of this furnace.
That's right.
Lest it consume you. And who wants to be consumed?
Bring it out.
Who wants to feel pain? Who wants to suffer? Not me. Not me. Israel, you must want it just as bad. Read that again.
For gold is tried in the fire.
For gold is tried through the fire. Read.
And acceptable men in the furnace of
We all
adversity.
have to be tried. And that's through adversity. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 73. 2 Ezra chapter 16 verse 73. Read this.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 73.
Read.
Then shall they be known who are my chosen,
Then shall they be known who are his chosen. Read on.
and they shall be tried as gold in the fire.
You're going to be tried as gold in the fire. What are you willing to lose?
Bring it out.
What are you willing to sacrifice for it? What are you willing to give up?
Bring it out.
What are you willing to forsake? Some of us who come into this walk, we lose our mother, children, friendships, relationships. Understanding nothing new under the sun. What are you willing to lose?
Bring it out.
What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give? Read that again.
Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold is in the fire.
And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Let's let that explain itself. Give me Judah, chapter 8 and verse 27. Judah, chapter 8 and verse 27. Read this.
The book of Judah, chapter 8, verse 27. For he hath not tried us in the fire, as he did them, for the examination of their hearts. Neither hath he taken vengeance on us.
So he doesn't try us in the fire to take vengeance on us. But read.
But the Lord doth scourge them that come near unto him, to admonish them.
To do what?
To admonish them.
Israel, you want to serve the Lord, prepare to be admonished.
That's right.
Prepare to be admonished. Prepare to be tried. But get the definition of admonish. What does it mean? What does the word admonish mean?
Admonish.
Read.
To warn or reprimand someone firmly. To advise or urge someone earnestly. To warn
To
someone.
what?
To warn.
To what?
To warn.
To
someone.
warn. To warn. Go back to Judah, chapter 8, verse 27.
The book of Judah, chapter 8, verse 27. For he hath not tried us in the fire, as he did them, for the examination of their hearts. Neither hath he taken vengeance on us, but the Lord doth scourge them that come near unto him.
You want to come into the Lord, prepare to be scourged.
That's right.
Prepare to be scourged. Read.
To admonish.
To admonish. Get your warning. It's life or death.
That's right.
You want to come into the Lord and walk with the Lord, you must be warned.
That's right.
This is life and death. Your soul is on the line. You must be warned. You must be tried. Now you're going to be tried. Last one, give me Zechariah 13:9 before we move on. Zechariah 13:9. You're going to walk with the power, prepare to be scorned.
That's right.
Prepare to be admonished. Prepare yourselves for adversity, for temptation. You want to walk with the power, you got to be proven. Read this.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
Who's going to be the ones that answer that day? The Lord is my God.
Bring it out.
Actually mean it. Which one amongst us is going to be that one?
Bring it out.
That's able to stand in that day and actually see God.
Bring it out.
Again, everybody raise their hand. Everybody going to say that's them. Give me Matthew chapter 6. See what I want. Give me Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8. Matthew chapter 5 verse 8.
The book of St. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
We get tried through that fire. They see who's pure amongst us.
Bring it out.
Only the purities can make it out the furnace.
Bring it
You
out.
got to go back to gold and you got to go back to silver. When that gold comes out that furnace, it's 100% gold.
That's right.
When silver comes out that furnace, it's 100% silver. You're either 100 or you're not.
That's right.
There's no gray area. But the Most High gives you the way to walk. He gives you the answers. He gives you the keys. Give me Sirach chapter 4 verse 24. He shows you how to walk. Sirach 4 and 24. Wrapping it up, Israel. Sirach 4 and 24.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 24. For by speech wisdom shall be known.
For by speech your wisdom shall be known. Read.
And learning by the word of the tongue.
Okay. So you're telling me that a person will be known that he's walking with the Most High by the words that he speaks?
Bring it out.
Note that. Note that. Sirach 5 and 13. Note that, Israel. Wisdom is known. Understanding is known. Knowledge is known by the words that a person speaks. You note that. Sirach 5 and 13.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 13. Honor and shame is in talk.
Honor and shame is in what?
In talk.
Honor and shame is in a man's talk. Hold up, wait. Read that again.
Honor and shame is in talk.
Read.
And the tongue of a man is his fall.
And the tongue of a man is his fall. Why does it keep taking emphasis on our tongue? Give me James chapter 3 verse 2. James chapter 3 verse 2. Read this.
The book of James, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Read.
For in many things we offend all.
For in many things we offend all. Would you agree?
Bring it out.
In many things that we do, we offend all. But the Most High, he gives you another way. Read.
If any man offend not in word,
But if any man offend not in the words that he speak, read.
the same is a perfect man.
The same is a perfect man. Ain't we commanded to be perfect?
That's right.
Ain't we commanded to be perfect?
That's right.
Christ was found perfect because he simply understood this principle. Read that again.
For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man.
The same is a perfect man. Read.
And able also to bridle the whole body.
It starts with your thoughts. It starts with your words, Israel. You want to make it out this fire, this furnace. It starts with your thoughts and your words that you utter.
Bring it out.
For so as a man thinketh, so is he.
That's right.
Surely a person utters us truly deep down inside. It's going to come out one way or another.
Right.
Israel, you better pay attention to jokes when you feel somebody joking around you. Because there's truth in that too.
That's right.
There's truth in that. Read that again.
For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man.
The same is a perfect man. And when you understand that, what are you able to accomplish? Read.
And able also to bridle the whole body.
Then you're able to bridle the whole body. Because truly you understand that good is set against evil. You understand. It's either Christ or the Antichrist.
Bring it out.
The honorable seed or the dishonorable seed.
That's right.
One or the two. Sirach 37 and 18. Sirach chapter 37 verse 18.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 37, verse 18. Four manner of things appear, good and evil.
There's only four manner of things that appear before you, Israel. Do you have eyes to see? Or are you blinded? Read that again.
Four manner of things appear, good and evil, life and death. But the tongue ruleth over them continually.
Israel, you have control over your reality, your paradigm, through your thoughts and through your words.
That's right.
You are in complete control. For as it is written, we could do all things through Christ who strengthen us.
That's right.
All things. And it starts with your thoughts and your words.
That's right.
Four manner of things appear. There's only good and evil, life and death. But the tongue ruleth over them continually. Can you see?
Bring it out.
Ecclesiastes 5 and 3. Ecclesiastes 5 and 3. Ecclesiastes 5 and 3. So the trial of a man is in his reasoning. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 3. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business. And a fool.
Shalakia, give me Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Shalakia. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God.
It's time for some of us to put a muzzle over our mouths.
That's right.
Stop being quick to utter things that we not. Surely the words that we speak all come to naught.
That's right.
If a person was to die today, surely his words profit him nothing.
That's right.
Israel, one thing we must do, stop being rash with our mouth. Read that again.
Keep thy foot when thou goest into the house of God.
Keep thy foot in the presence of the Lord. Read on.
And be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of food.
Read.
For they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth.
Be not what?
Be not rash with thy
But
mouth.
instead we want to pick up this Bible and speak for God.
Bring it out.
You better not be rash with thy mouth. Read.
And let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God.
Read on.
For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. For a dream cometh.
That's all I want. Give me Sirach 32 and 8. Coming to an end, Israel. Sirach 32 and 8. But you have to get the concept that we all will be proved, all of us will be proved inside of the furnace. And our trial is within our reasoning, Israel. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 32 and verse 8. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words.
Apply this wisdom. Apply this knowledge. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Read.
Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue.
Give me James, chapter 1, verse 19. James, chapter 1, verse 19. Read this up.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
Read that again.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear.
Be what?
Swift to hear.
Let every man be swift to hear. Read on.
Slow to speak.
Slow to utter anything before God. Read.
Slow to wrath.
Slow to wrath. Read.
For the wrath of men worketh not the righteousness of God.
For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
Right?
For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Go back to Sirach 27 verse 5. Sirach 27 and verse 5. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27, verse 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel, and the trial of man is in his reasoning.
It says, the furnace proveth the potter's vessel. So the trial of man is in his reasoning. The trial of man is in his reasoning. Give me Ecclesiasticus 27 and 7 and we out. Ecclesiasticus 27 and 7 and we out. Apply this wisdom, Israel. Apply this knowledge. Apply this understanding. Ecclesiasticus 27 and 7 and we out. Read this.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 27, verse 7. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak.
Praise no man before you hear him speak. Read on.
For this is the trial of man.
For this is the trial of man. And we all be tried through our reasoning, our understanding, and ultimately through the words we speak. Last precept, Matthew 10 and 27. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 27. Shalakia 12 and 36. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 36.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Read.
For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy word thou shalt be condemned.
It's through our words that we justified Israel.
Right?
And it's through our thoughts and our words that ultimately condemn us. All praise to the Most High and His Son. I hope this morning breakfast was very profitable to the soul. On that note, Shalom.